Good evening, cats and kittens. Happy Pride, y'all. Ready for a stream? If you're new here, I'm Spriggan, and if you're not, welcome back. We're gonna be returning to Mushroom Musume this evening. We have had a nice long break, and we're gonna be, stopping that. Break, I mean. Ava, Lonely E-Girl, Hades Row, Alice Adra, Donk, Drabsnat, Regress, and Tarsai, welcome back, and Scorpy12, maybe? If that's not how you say your name, please tell me. Welcome, you seem to be new. This is part, like 10 or 11 of this series, but we're still just scratching the surface. So, let's just over to here. Get the sound going. I hope that you have water. I hope that if you are of an age and of a state of mind where an intoxicant is appropriate and desired, that you have that as well. And your favorite stuffy for emotional support and physical comfort. I'm joined as always by Reynard the Fox. I've thought about I ought to take a picture of Reynard and put him on Twitter so you can see my co-pilot for these streams. It's just a stuffed fox. He's not, he's special to me. Let's just move on. Let me, okay. Looks good in the capture window. Let me mute for 1 second here. Oh, where's the button? Okay, I just needed to clear my throat. Had a bit of a whistly throat. Okay. So to start out, the very first thing that we're gonna do... There we go. Let's see. We're gonna start with my personal flag. I guess it's not the only flag that applies, but that's where we're gonna start. Okay. What else? I'm trying to make sure I have my water bottle. I went and plugged my phone in. I hope y'all are having a good week. I am having a long week, as I always am, because I have an office job, so it's just goddamn monotonous. Yeah, okay. I think we've got everything. I'm so prepared. And chat looks copacetic. Here we go. Hello. Thank you. Look at the levels. Levels look good. Alright, I will read the intro the first time. I feel like this is redundant, but it has been a while since we played, and I do have, as I said, I think one new person here. I'm gonna read the intro the first time, and then if we make more than one daughter on this playthrough, we're just gonna skip through it. Excuse me. Once upon a time, there was a humble recluse. Though they had no need for society, they did often find themselves home to a loneliness that they could never quite shake. In the morning, the sun would rise, at night it would set. The recluse would observe this splendor, knowing that the sight would be made all the more beautiful by having someone to share it with. It wasn't that they desired a relationship. Perhaps it was a flame that had burned them one too many times, or perhaps they were simply disinterested. No, a child, that's what they wanted. Someone to take care of, to teach. Unfortunately, it was a longing that could not be found, not in these woods, alone. However, we're never quite as alone as we think, are we? One day a witch appeared, as if drawn by the intensity of the recluse's desire. The lumber the recluse had spent the morning gathering slipped through their hands as they spotted her, the witch of the woods. She began to speak. You desire a child, yes? For some, those are quite easy to come by, but not you, it would seem. Let us make a deal then. If you do 3 simple chores for me, I will present you with a daughter of your very own. The recluse, caught up in a moment of naivety, quickly agreed. We got our tasks there. The witch, knowing that the recluse was destined to accept, simply nodded and began to deliver the first of these so-called chores without hesitation. Your child will come into this world with little to her name. Let us even the scales. Bring me an heirloom, something she will forever value. Okay, we get the heirloom, I want to say, about a third of the time. And we do keep getting new things, so the recluse thought on it briefly, searching through their home for the object they had pictured. Alright, we've got the sharpest knife we own. I believe we've done that one. A dark weathered tome, we've definitely done that one, but it's good to know that we have that option because it guarantees that our kid can read. Your most used cast iron skillet. You know, so we've done this one before. We, in fact, I think did it the first time. And we haven't done it since. The thing is, one of the first few runs we did, whichever one we did do the cast iron skillet, we got the fairy tale woman mansion story, and we haven't gotten that since. But the cast iron skillet was super useful for that, but so was reading. We might get another opportunity to read. We've done all of these things. The knife? Alright, if y'all have a preference in chat, give me A for the sharpest knife we own, B for a dark weathered tome, and C for our most used cast iron skillet. I'm actually leaning towards C for the skillet myself, but I will wait 30 or so seconds. Probably not that long. I'll wait some seconds and give you an opportunity to express a preference if you want to do that. I kind of want to turn the music up, though. It's got a beautiful score. Just a little bit. Okay. I'm not really seeing any objections. Alright. Speak now or forever hold your peace, because I'm picking the skillet. Skillet it is. Oh shit, whoops. Whew. Passed down from generation to generation, the skillet's seasoning had never once let an ancestor down. It's a good skillet. It wouldn't let their daughter down either. It will serve her for her entire life, and with luck, she will live on to pass it to someone else too. Bringing their prize back to the witch, she simply gave a smile. How perfect. After their brief detour to meet with the witch, the recluse resumed their normal day-to-day schedule. The second day. The recluse slept more soundly that night than they had in ages. Having a purpose again soothed them, even if they had found themselves caught up with a witch. They elected not to think about that, though. Instead, when the morning came, they simply did what they had to do, which is to say, they got up and went to meet with the witch. Upon watching the recluse's approach, a sardonic smile lit the witch's face. You completed your first task admirably. 2 more and I can finally give you what you want. She paused for only a moment before delivering her next message of import. It is important for a young person to be well grounded in this world, I hear. Bring me a jar of soil to help with this process. Okay, jar of dirt. We've done this one too. Keep in mind that not all dirt is the same, though. Consider the source carefully. Hopefully we get some new sources then. Soil? That did sound somewhat magical, the recluse supposed. Left with this vague prompt, they considered their options. We got a particularly lumpy patch in the witch's front yard. I think we might have done that. I think the lumpy patch might mean what makes us a potato instead of a mushroom. The most picturesque section of forest you've ever set eyes upon. We've definitely done that one. A quiet graveyard. We've done all of these. A, B, and C. A being the lumpy patch in the witch's yard, B being the picturesque section of forest, and C being the quiet graveyard. If you have a preference, let me know. The lumpy patch, I really want to say, is the the potato ending. But I'm not positive of that. So we can try it. It might not give us the potato. Most picturesque section. I also think that we've done, but I don't remember really what kind of effect it might have had. I feel like the graveyard makes us physically weak. I'm actually kind of leaning towards the lumpy thing because if it's not the potato, then it might be something interesting. Do we have objections to the particularly lumpy patch in the witch's front yard as our dirt source? I'm not reading any objections. I'm going for the lumpy patch. Well, the witch wanted dirt, and dirt there was in abundance. Besides, something about this dirt felt particularly fruitful. The recluse could spy roots in the soil as they extracted it. It's the fucking potato. Perhaps this was a good sign life could be sustained with this substrate. Arriving back at their meeting place, the recluse was excited to share their selection with the witch. So that's what you picked, eh? Very well, it shall do. Feeling the need to scrub their skin, the recluse retired to their hut to cleanse themselves. Third day. With 2 assignments complete, the recluse could feel their excitement grow. If this witch was being honest, if for some reason they felt that she was, then that meant that this could be the last night they spent without a child. They hoped so, at least. That was all they could do. Barely remembering to get dressed, the recluse dashed to the meeting spot. Again, the witch had been waiting there for them. Welcome back, recluse. Are you prepared? Today is your big day, is it not? The last task is an easy one, or at least I believe so. Bring me something colorful. Something bright that you think will suit her. It's time for us to select a color. We're gonna have to click through all of our shit. When they were first told of the 3 tasks, the recluse had imagined things that were much more difficult. This seemed so easy as to be a trick, which they suppose only meant that they should take it seriously, as if a mistake could mean death. With death in mind, the recluse needed to decide where to search for color. The flowers, the river, and the cave of indecision. So, do we... Oh, let me look at the almanac. Oh wait, I know how to do this. It's, here? History... No. I mean, yeah, we can save. you let me look at my almanac? Fuck it. Okay, now I can. I really should have checked before then. So, of flower colors, we only need 5. We should not accept red, blue, orange, purple, black, blood, or pumpkin. If someone wanted color, where else was there to even consider? The recluse decided to make their way to a particularly idyllic field of flowers. It's been about 20 minutes, they all drink water. Very important. The field was filled with an overwhelming amount of choice. Before long, the recluse narrowed down the options to a few. Black pansies, a Stygian omen, we already got it. Foxglove, purple bell-like blooms, we already got it. Cardinal flowers, a prideful red bloom, we already got it. Forget-me-nots, light-hearted blue flowerets, we already got it. What's that? A pumpkin. It only gave us the ones we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, I mean, we're not looking for repeats. A pumpkin, cardinal flowers, milkweed is orange. I feel like I said red, but I might have said blood. Fuck it. Somehow they were the loudest flower the recluse had ever seen. They reminded them of fine, vivid things, expensive dyes and lavish clothes. They could never afford these things in society, but this flower was free. Their daughter would never go without. It's a nice sentiment. The recluse returned to the witch's hut, colored item in hand. She silently took the object, nodding her head to the recluse in recognition. The recluse stood there for a moment unsure, before finally the witch realized what they expected. Oh, you want your promised daughter, don't you? Her voice was almost mocking, but at least it was not overtly cruel. I suppose I must tell you that I lied, human. I do require several more trifling things from you. First is the matter of payment. The recluse should have known that everything is for a cost. I'm gonna do pay me later in the way I choose. Because we still haven't gotten anything super interesting. Just the hunting down of another mushroom daughter. The recluse told the witch that they couldn't repay her, not anytime soon. That is fine, of course, I will collect payment eventually. With the payment settled, the witch simply smiled and handed the recluse a small pot. Humans are tricky, but mushrooms are much more resilient. Consider this an upgrade. Don't worry, eventually she will develop a mind. Simply give her time, as much as she needs. Soon your wish will be in full bloom. I suppose with all that settled, though, there is one last thing for you to consider. A young girl needs a proper name. The recluse thought on the witch's demand before offering the final thing they had to give. What is her name? I've been thinking about what we're gonna name this one. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but I have used all names that would be used in Lebanon, which is, I am a Lebanese person living in America. But I have to remember the ones that I've already used. I don't believe that I've used Sivan. So, keyboard. You know what? Actually, I think I did use Sivan. Ooh, you know what? I've always loved the name Anahit. Then she walked away, only fate knowing if the two should ever meet again. Chapter 2, Cultivation. Alright, so we have our daughter. She is not yet a whole person. We need to nurture her. We need to provide her with good dirt and safety. All sorts of important things that babies need. Babies need dirt. Though the recluse was unsure of the specifics, they did realize that it was important to heed her instructions. Care for the pot and the dirt and everything that lay within. So the recluse geared up as any parent should and assessed the things they needed to raise a child. Finances, in case the nearby village had goods or services that you could not provide. Nutrients for the child to help it grow strong. They would need plenty, as it would be depleted on a daily basis. And finally, the recluse's own stamina could not be ignored. One cannot burn the candle from both ends indefinitely. Thus began the longest growing season of the recluse's life. Oh, we definitely have the potato. I'm so annoyed. Well, we're gonna be a red potato. We're indebted and potted. We've got our nutrients, finances, and stamina that has been discussed. Our environment's acceptable. And we've got normal affection. And that's all we got. So harsh weather has taken its toll on your garden, and your entire harvest has been lost. Weeks worth of food and labor has been rotted and destroyed. Without immediate action, you and your daughter will be in trouble later down the line. So you can see that we've got gauges at the bottom. Everything that we do will cost one of the gauges. Some of them will refill other gauges, like we're trying to put away nutrients for the future. So we still have 8 of everything, which is what we start with. We could accept the loss for now and probably be fine. Um, or we can till the garden again and start over from seed. This will cost stamina. It's also, in my opinion, the best option in this case, so that's what we're going to do. Because it's just an either or decision, and it just is not worth the possibility of starving your kid. I've already gotten the you accidentally starved your kid ending. Um, so we're gonna go ahead and. Hello? Thank you. No use crying over ruined crops, you simply make adjustments to your garden. There'll be less variety this season, but you'll live to see it, and that's what matters. So as you can see, the nutrients went up by 4, we have 12 now, but the stamina only went down by 2. Excuse me. So it was really a very fair trade as an investment. This is a pretty short chapter. This is going to be really the last set of events for us as the recluse, and then we play as the daughter after. Again, this is in case you did not see the previous episodes. Um, if you do want to watch those episodes, they're as VODs on the YouTube channel. So yeah, that was a worthy trade. I'm so aggravated, and also it definitely already we did have red because we didn't unlock red when we did that. Yeah, we had it. We had all of the colors it offered us, and I didn't want to keep reloading. Plus, this is clearly a potato. It has leaves. It's not a mushroom, so it doesn't matter if we're just gonna do our best and see if we can unlock some events. Okay. This has entered my personal lexicon. The decision being made, life continued. Pardon me. One day, you awake slightly earlier than usual. In your somewhat somnambulant state, you hear an ethereal croon originating from your garden. Alright, we're getting the fairy familiar. When you go out, you spot it. A small fairy clad in red is sitting amongst your crops. We can catch her to sell. Hunt her to feed her to the daughter. Offer a coin and build. So this gives us a fairy familiar. This can, I think, give you a fairy familiar. This one turns the color scheme into an LSD dream. I don't know if her being a potato is gonna make it weird. That's kind of tempting. What if we just did this particularly run? This particular run is a Just a voracious potato. A gluttonous potato. Gonna eat everything. We picked the skillet, right? That's perfect. We're doing that. You know well what to do with strange winged beasts. You fetch your bow, making quick work of the thing. I hate that we just murdered a fairy. Figure it can be used the same way as a bird, prepared over fire. You hope that it will infuse your daughter with something special. She's already fate touched, perhaps this will fuel something in her. The decision being made, life continued. Wow, that skipped her entire childhood. Something's happening. Your daughter has changed in the night. Tending to your daughter one day, you notice the plant has started to develop healthy looking leaves and looks larger than before. You were perhaps expecting some sort of magical transformation to occur in the plant, but witches work in strange ways. After appraising her carefully, you decide to give the plant some extra care today. Let's see, because we got a growth spurt. Fairy blooded question mark. She's underdeveloped and childish. We have not improved her shit at all. We do have fairy blood. She's not done growing. Alright, what are our options? Enrich her soil with fertilizer, improve her environment, water her thoroughly while she needs it most. Let's improve her environment because it said that her environment's only acceptable. You decide that now is the best time to promote her growth, spending extra effort improving her setup. You attentively clean her pot and add a support, making sure her growing conditions are just right. The improvements seem to help a lot, and each day she looks a bit bigger and healthier than the last. The box here has changed. Excellent in quality, and the affection went up. Still, this is not improved. The decision being made, life continued. A flock of hungry birds have been harassing both your crops and your daughter recently. In fact, they've become quite the nuisance. Alright, we're gonna purchase some poison. So we're not gonna purchase poison because if we just kill them, we can also feed them to our daughter, and we're gonna continue to do that. You retrieve your bow and are lucky to leave with not one, but two birds from the flock. They shouldn't show up again for a while. You and your daughter may rest. Nothing more could be done to the birds. The matter was laid to rest. The day's gotten away from you. Already the sun's gentle descent is being swallowed behind the forest's reach. You weren't able to finish everything you set out for today, but you only have time for one more chore. Purchase new construction materials, finish a favor, worked hard enough, go drinking, barter for some fine substrates to better grow your daughter. Excellent. We want the affection to go up. Oh wow, this has really gone up a bit. Let's do the substrate because I never spend money in this game. An amateur mycologist in the village recently informed you that he had some new supplies that may interest you. Deciding to take him up on the offer, you come to the conclusion after a brief meeting that he was right. You take home a fine new pouch of soil, and he takes some of your hard-earned coin. Your task behind you, you and your daughter return home. Each do a nice bath and a simple dinner. Okay, she's growing. Oh my god. I feel like we've seen this before, but it just looks like the skull coming out of the dirt is a little off-putting every time I see it. Our daughter has changed in the night, y'all. Lately, your daughter has developed into a tremendous plant. She has grown nearly as tall as you and is overtaking her pot with bulging roots and prolific foliage. We want the affection to be higher. And also, I'd like to teach her to read. You still sometimes wonder if she's ever going to start moving and climb out of that pot, but you are nonetheless proud of your healthy and beautiful daughter. Seems strange that you haven't seen the witch since you received your daughter, but you suppose she must have her own affairs to attend to. At any rate, she has grown so much that you decide to take some extra care today to ensure her continued wellness. Good, we need affection. Encourage her with praise is good. Buy her a new, bigger pot. Move her into a shaded area. We're gonna encourage her with praise so that she's happy. You do long to treat her as a daughter after all, and perhaps she's just waiting for a little encouragement. Sitting down beside her, you talk to the plant about your day and express how thankful and proud you are that the witch gave you the gift of parenthood. You extol her various qualities, finding new things to compliment her on for nearly an hour. As usual, she offers no response, but hopefully she finds the words as enriching as you do. We're trying so hard to love this potato plant. Wow, the affection. And she's super developed. Even though it still says underdeveloped and childish as her disposition, which doesn't make any sense to me. I hope this potato feels so loved. The decision being made, life continued. Recently, you've begun to think about your daughter's living quarters, specifically her pot. You've a few ideas how to improve it, but you only have so much time. Which do you decide to move forward with? Use your cooking scraps as compost. Buy some fancy substrate from town. Decorate the pot. Ensure that her soil remains ever damp. Infuse the soil with a drop of your own blood. Feed. Feed. If this plant is to be your daughter, you think it's only appropriate to share your blood with her. That is typical of a parent and child, you've been told. Oh, they don't understand. That's okay. You want your daughter to know her parents, so you prick your finger and tell her your darkest secret as you quench her thirst. Oh my god, they're like performing an eldritch ritual on your daughter, who is a potato plant. I'm gonna prick my finger and tell her my darkest secret. Jesus. Though you do, we've just confessed to this potato plant. Though you do not need her to share your burdens in life, you think it's only fair that she has an inkling of what those burdens are. Oh, okay. She's a teenager now. She needs to know about the family skeletons. I got you, I got you. This isn't a run where we're getting any of the stuff that brings up the hermit. I'm sorry, the recluse. The recluse is past, but they do have some skeletons, so I wonder what they decided to tell this friggin' potato. I can't believe it's a potato. I love the name Anahita. Now we're not going to be able to reuse it. Her quality of life having been improved, life continued. We're so low on stamina. I think her affection went down. I think her affection went down, y'all. Okay, good to know. When entering town one day, you notice a strange gathering surrounded by some newly erected tents and market stalls. Farmers, townsfolk, and travelers are all bustling about, and it seems they are holding a spring garden festival featuring a contest for impressive and exotic plants. Seeing as your daughter is such a large and beautiful plant, perhaps you should enter as well. Purchase exotic fertilizer, simply enjoy, discuss gardening tips, enter your daughter in the contest. Yeah. Well, purchase. That's the feeding option. We're a little low on finances and high on food, though. Enter the contest. She's beautiful. You register for the contest and return home to retrieve your precious plant. The excitement of the competition is getting to you, and you can't help but feel nervous. Judges walk through the display area throughout the day, thoughtfully considering each of the unusual and gorgeous plants. You can't help but notice a small crowd start to form around yours. Interested murmurs about its size, shape, and locality can be heard. They are clearly impressed. In the end, a wealthy noble from a neighboring duchy wins the competition. But you did pretty well yourself. Your daughter takes third place, and with it, some prize money. Okay, that's good, in case we want to buy her something. Filled with pride and satisfaction, you and your daughter return home with a new ribbon adorning her pot. The contest having ended, life continued. Was this supposed to happen? It has been several long seasons since you first made your deal with the mysterious witch of the woods, and you must admit, you're beginning to have your doubts. So much so, in fact, that you finally decided to do something about it. With your daughter's pot in hand, you quickly make your way to her hut. Though you are hesitant to risk upsetting a powerful magic user, you must prioritize your daughter's needs. You knock firmly on the witch's door. Before long, it opens and you spy the witch. She looks back at you, then down to the pot. The longer she looks, the more confused her gaze grows. What brings you here? As calmly as you can manage, you try to explain that you are concerned that there is something wrong with your daughter. She looks again to the plant. This is clearly a potato. You recognize that, of course. If this is about your debt, do not concern yourself. This was my mistake, so I will pursue no further payments, of course. A stunned silence fills the air. You do not know what to say. I knew the lumpy earth was the fucking potato. I should listen to my gut. Oh, you truly believe this plant to be your daughter? How charming. No, something appears to have gone wrong. I do apologize for the inconvenience, but unfortunately sometimes these things are out of our control. You can't help but take a sharp inhale of breath as the witch says this. No. A deal is a deal, and you insist in panicked tones. The witch's focus drifts, and you find her staring at your daughter. Well, your potato, you suppose. That potato is quite large, Recluse. It appears that you did not slack on your role as parent. She sighed. It is embarrassing to admit, but this is not my normal area of magic. However, you have done your best, so I will do mine as well. Close your eyes. You simply do as the witch instructs. A spud is born. When you were growing up, you had always wondered what your parent looked like. It seemed unfair, really. You had so many eyes, and yet you couldn't even see. But now, standing in this room with your 2 feet, you can see clearly. The recluse was the first thing you saw, and if you're being honest, they looked exactly as you had pictured. Then they opened their eyes and saw you. Something in their face softened, and you immediately ran in for a hug. They held you tight, unable to hold back a sob. The two of you departed the witch's hut that day for the first time as parent and daughter. Over the next few weeks, you got to tell the recluse everything you always wished you had had the mouth to say. You get to eat human food for the first time. Frankly, you find yourself unimpressed, but there's always room to improve, among many other firsts. Over the time, these firsts fade away to comfortable seconds, thirds, and 15ths. Getting to interact with the recluse is great. You greatly enjoy your ability to do new things, even if you find that you're often not very good at them. But your potato brain won't get you down. In fact, after some time has passed, you begin to wonder more about the outside world. Finally, one day, you confess to the recluse that you want to strike out on your own. Though they were initially hesitant, they realized that nothing they could say would sway you. They even go so far as to offer you help in building a new home for yourself, somewhere nearby, of course. You take them up on this offer, clearly. Faster than you would have anticipated, the two of you built your home together. They showed you all the tricks they knew, and made sure to impart as much knowledge as they possibly could, which then quickly vanished into the abyss that was your head. Oopsie. Finally the day arrived. You were officially on your own. You were scared a little, but also excited. It felt like a new chapter was just beginning for you. Oh, we've got a loving parent. Chapter 3, A Girl on Her Own. I can't believe we made a potato again. And it's been 40 minutes. We spent so long raising this potato. She's gorgeous. She's a rooty brown potato, Anahid. She got a little tutu on, a little fluff around the neck for some style. She's got sparkles. Because this wasn't supposed to happen. She's a gourmet. Chefs throughout the land envy her delicate, complex flavors. That could easily be a double meaning. Oh god, I've taken a look at our stats. We're very mycelious for a potato. Potato brain, magical matters are forever beyond your understanding, so we're not smart, but that's okay. Oh yeah, we didn't get the opportunity, like a second chance to teach her to read. So she's not, that's fine. We can deal with that. Potato body, damp and melancholy situations are bad for your health, so we need to stay dry and happy. Our dampness is 20. Mycelium is 57, which is ridiculous. We're a potato. Robustness is 40, that's fine. Potency is 42, that's more than fine. Humanity is only 15, because again, we are a potato. I don't understand why our mycelium's that high. Maybe because we kept feeding her blood when she was little. We've got only one nope. 2 soma, but we don't really use those, and a decent amount of wealth and tokens, as well as food tokens. One usually performs better with a nice meal in their stomach. Okay. Fairy blood, thoroughly saturated with the essence of dead fairies, and a magical creature. Is that cannibalism? We're a young adult. I don't see the... There's loving parent. Okay. Bruce will always live in your heart, and for the time being, next door. Does it seem like it's updated? Okay, we've got a decent amount of wealth. We're probably going to be fine. Let's go ahead and save, because we're moving on out with Anahid to conquer the woods. Alright. The sun is low in the sky, casting a beautiful warm tint across everything that you saw. Today, it is a particularly beautiful night. Blossoming fruit trees and the wind blowing through the grass. Your eyes feel heavy, and suddenly you find yourself falling into a deep sleep. We're getting the dream lady. Okay, we're gonna eventually get a date with this dream lady. She's literally the lady of our dreams. In your dreams, you're sitting on a tree branch. There's a flute playing somewhere. Then suddenly the flute is next to you. Attached to it is the vague shape of a woman. I haven't seen you around here before. Welcome. Oh, hey, Miu. Thank you for coming on back. Oh my gosh. Zalzarujna, Zestiki, Tarsai, Rodriguez-Su, and Denyai. We've got a pretty full house. So I'm glad I glanced over at Tat to check and make sure y'all were fine. Okay. Dream lady. Give me a dream of you. Whenever you go to look at her, it feels like she shifts. You can't quite describe her. She's too beautiful for you to process. You probably won't remember me when you wake up, but it's nice to meet you. After sitting in silence for a second, she starts playing again. Alright, try to memorize this place. I don't remember if we've done that. Where do you go when I'm awake? We've asked her that before, but I don't remember the answer. Flying is a wasted turn. Singing along is a wasted turn, but there's hearts. Oh, it'll raise our humanity. Right? That's what the hearts are? It's not actually love. I feel like... Okay. I don't remember what singing along does. So... let's double check if she likes this. You close your eyes, absently singing along with the flute. You're not very good at it, even in the dream, but it feels nice. Anyways, eventually, before you know it, your eyes are opening. We just gained humanity, and she didn't react. We want her to like it. Sing along, fly. Let's try to memorize the place. Try your best to focus. It's hard to take in the details, but you attempt to commit them to memory. You figure out that if you remember it well... you figure that if you remember it well, maybe you could come back. It seems like a lovely enough place to visit from time to time. By the time you awake, you can remember it vividly, even the strange woman next to you. Excellent. That's a memory for another time, though. It's dark, and you should be getting home. The nearby town is having a big contest tomorrow. The local cooks are all getting together to show off their best dishes. It's open for anyone to compete or just watch. Gather some ingredients, including bits of yourself. Yes. We're gonna rock and roll this fucking contest right now. You throw together a nice potato dish, garnish it the best you can, and head to the contest. Competition is tough, and each judge, we passed that dice roll by the way if you're just listening. Um, and each judge seems to have a different favorite already by the time they get to yours. Somehow, though, the pure flavor surpasses the experienced technique of the other chefs, and you end up winning. We're sort of reputable. The mountains bordering the northern reaches of the forest call to you. Son of a bitch. Okay. You see them every day on your adventures, and there is an overwhelming desire to climb them that simply can't be ignored. Can we ignore it? Readying yourself in the early hours of the morning, you glance over the materials you have on hand. Pack light, pack heavy, don't pack, in fact, just don't go. So, my concern is that this is wasting a turn, like a literal season, but I've just done the mountain trek multiple times and would like to get something else. So we're going to try noping. I never nope unless it's like combat and that's not what I'm aiming to do or I know my stats can't hack it. God, our mycelium is so high. When you really start thinking about it, hiking sounds like a bit of a chore. If you're being honest, why even bother with the nature over at the mountain when you already are nature? It's pointless, really. Instead, you spend a nice day inside, relaxing. Okay, no, it's a reroll. Dope. You are woken in the middle of the night by a loud crash from your kitchen. And we just get the lock-picking guy again. Nope, cards don't waste a turn. Thank you, Salzaruzna, for saying so. I'm glad that I saved just in case. We only had one nope. I don't dislike making friends with this thief. There's a man hunched over. He's in his pain. It's not what it looks like. It's exactly what it looks like, but I injured myself, so I'm no longer pursuing that plan. We're gonna excuse his rudeness. Oh, I never do this. I don't like... But I guess I never do that. I don't know if we've done the thief events far enough to determine if we get something. Yeah, actually we have, because we've gotten an ending where, like, we became a better thief than him. Hold on, I have to... Oh, I had to make an adjustment to these headphones. If I remember correctly, I want to look at the almanac. Let me do that. We did, though. We've gotten an ending like that. I guess we're gonna kick him out. Oh, it makes me feel bad. No, no, no. No one will break into your home until you to forgive them. You roughly grab the man by the scruff of his collar, then proceed to take out the trash. You feel a crisp breeze. The hint is relenting. The trees are changing in color. So we did end up wasting a season, but it's because we couldn't not have that event. Fall's arrived. One day you find yourself considering the thought of dinner, primarily that you don't feel like preparing it. Well, now we're getting the restaurant thing. Well, you don't need food as the humans call it. You find that it's a comfort you particularly enjoy indulging in at times. Those times are primarily in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. You've been told that humans enjoy their meals in this structure as well. This lack of will, yet interest in flavor, compels you to think. You remember that in the village there is an establishment you have yet to visit, a restaurant run by one of the locals. A meal, without having to cook? What a brilliant idea. I agree. If you were going to ask a stranger for food, you figure you should try to play to human social norms. Perhaps it would be wise for you to blend in, don a head wrap and dark tinted glasses. Abnormal appendages are hidden. You go to the restaurant. Ugh. I know I'm just kind of skipping over this, but we've gotten... So basically you go to this restaurant and the hostess and the waiter and the chef are all so happy to see you, and the chef's like, well, I'll make you whatever you want for free. I've gotten all 3 of the meals, I think. You get it, the food's free. And then on your way out, you meet someone who's like clearly a food critic, and she wears the same head wrap and dark glasses that you're wearing. And that's why it was free. Yep. And you like the food also. That's good. The chef comes out. And is like so honored that the person that they think you are is eating there. Oops. What? Stop doing that. What's going on now? You know, you're like, that's a little weird, but like, thanks for having me. Oh, I'm taking my hair out of its ponytail. Starting to get a headache from the headset. I apologize if this is too direct, but could I ask, if we passed muster, did you enjoy your meal? It was incredible. It could be better. We've never been mean about it. I wasn't really paying attention, but I feel like she was like, it was good, so we're gonna say it was good. With honesty, yep, she liked it. It'll be good for business. You go to leave. I look over and seeing a strange hunched woman. She's wearing a pair of dark glasses and a wrap around her head. In her hand, a scrap of parchment paper with writings on it, as if she is some manner of writer. You express a rush apology and leave the restaurant at once. For some reason, you suspect that perhaps you were able to reap the rewards of a mistaken identity today, and you sure had fun doing it. The night sky is clear and beautiful as you sit on a stump atop a small hill looking up. Shooting star, we've never had, I don't think ever had this work out. Or maybe we have, I don't remember. Y'all know my brain didn't work. So, wish for the people of the kingdom to live peaceful lives. Boring. Wish to be blessed with delicious food. Interesting on our gluttonous run here. Wish to grow stronger. Wish to stay in good health. Wish for it to rain tomorrow. We don't want it to be wet. Wish for the star. Let's wish to be blessed with delicious food. Let's continue role-playing as a gluttonous potato. Do we pass? No. Come on. Look, gimme. Yes. Pass. Only had 1 reroll. Not bad. Not a bad run tonight. 1 reroll each. I mean, I'm not having to continuously do it, is my point. You're not sure who left it there, but you find a basket of pristine fresh fruits and veggies outside your home the next day. You make a beautiful and delicious breakfast, and you start your day off right. You awake one night to the light of a full moon and the eerie sound of singing. Okay, we're gonna be a fairy stolen potato in a second. As if your body isn't your own, the cool night air is drawn over your flesh upon leaving the house. And just outside you see a group of tiny fairies are dancing and singing inside a ring of sprouted mushrooms. One of them spots you, watching, and motions you closer. Go forward and play with the fairies. Try to sing along with them. Try to capture some of them. Go back to bed. You know, this is a weird run we're doing. I probably should have saved. Oof! By the hair of my chin. You quickly sneak back into your home to grab some coins, a net, and several bottles before heading back to the fairies. You use the bait to gather the fairies close together, then pounce and swing the net in a precise arc. A few manage to dodge and flee, but many more are caught. You seal the bottle of Fae and bring them home, certain to find a use for them. We've got bottled fairies. A chilling breeze greets you one morning, heralding the approach of winter. Let's save, because that's... I don't know that I've ever done that before. A little magic hidden away for some rainy day. It did say that our potato brain can't do magic. So it's good that we just have a little magic sitting around. Chilling breeze, approach of winter. The end of the year approaches and you find yourself considering your aspirations. God damn it, I just wish the lifespans were a bit longer. You want to... As soon as I knew we got the potato, I was thinking about the lifespan. And it's been an hour. And I don't know how many runs I have in me this evening. You want to accomplish something significant, you decide. Something you'll remember. Take on a dangerous quest, attend a charming evening at the gala, decide not to pursue anything. I don't know if we've ever decided to do that. You've had an exciting enough year already, there's no need to put more on your plate. You simply decide to look forward to peaceful days ahead. While wandering the woods, you always do your best to remain vigilant to possible outside entities that you could run into. Certain animals are keen to cause problems for you, and that's not even to mention the humans. It's with this awareness that you detect a nearby being. You pause, listening to the soft sounds of footsteps. Human footsteps, you suspect, or at least something vaguely human in shape. I don't know that I know this one. Finally, you spot the intruder. A realization floods over you. The recluse. Rush over to greet them, silently retreat into the woods. We've got a loving parent. Huh. I wonder what it does to break the recluse's... No. There was a tearful reunion. If we ever get it again, I just can't bring myself to do it right now. We're gonna rush over to greet them. You've not been by to visit them recently, so you consider this something of a fortunate encounter. Chores and your parent, all in one outing. Without any further hesitation, you rush over and wrap your arms around them in a greeting. Thankfully, they had time to see you coming. Anahid, they exclaim, returning the hug. What a coincidence seeing you here. The two of you swap greetings, and you can't help but to pry about what they're up to. Growing up, you always felt like they were doing something interesting, so why not now? Your theory is proven correct. The recluse goes on to explain. As you discover, they have a bit of a deal with the leader of the nearby village. In exchange for dealing with grisly situations the villagers could never stomach themselves, the recluse gets to live in the unincorporated land near the village without having to concern themselves with the minutiae of civilization. No surveys, no taxes, just what exactly is the favor they're doing again? There have been some concerns amongst local parents, they explain. Some hooligans have been trying to kidnap children recently. It's a big problem. It's the friggin' Kappas. It's the Kappas. Hooligans? Shouldn't the local guardians be dealing with such things and not the recluse? Well, these hooligans are a bit rowdier than most. They live in the river, you see. Most of the guard can't be bothered to dirty their boots in such an undignified way. It's because they're scared of Kappas. It's because the cops are scared of Kappas. A-cab, happy pride. A hint of bitterness snuck into their voice, a rare piece of insight into their thoughts. Before long, you can hear running water. The river approaches. That is to say, you approach the river. Finally, you and the recluse stand before the water. They nod, then speak. We're supposed to not get wet, mind you. We do want to help protect the children from being kidnapped by evil Ninja Turtles. We should be close to their base. Okay, random dice roll, but we passed it. This observation is proven correct when the sound of raucous laughter seems to bubble up from the water. They're saying cowbunga. Radical, 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 radical. The recluse drops their pack to the ground and pulls off their overclothes. They retrieve a hatchet from their bag, then return to walk towards the water. Offer to help. Wait patiently while the recluse does whatever it is they need to do. We're going to wait patiently because we can't get in the water. Maybe helping doesn't involve getting in the water. I guess we can check. Frantically call out and tell them to wait. A thought occurs. There is something beneath these waters that needs killing, correct? And humans are somewhat allergic to water or something of that effect. Why should the recluse take the risk when you're standing right here? Oh! You could bait the creatures up to land. No! But we're not supposed to get wet. Let's see what it does. You can't be underwater indefinitely. You get soggy and it gets harder and harder to move, but you should have enough time and strength to get in and out without any trouble at least. Once into the water, you can clearly see the dwelling the laughter had come from around a woody den overrun with moss and small aquatic snails. You figure the easiest way to get someone's attention is to simply knock, so you do just that. In what is only a partial surprise, it actually opens a few seconds later. Behind the door, you can make out the so-called hooligans, one at the door and two lounging in the room behind the first. They are large, green, and looking a little mean. You suppose if you had to describe them, you would say they looked a little like if you took a turtle and forced it to be shaped like a human. But there's no time to think about that. You immediately go to act on your plan. You contort your body to make as many rude gestures as you can possibly can at once. The goal is to make them livid and to make them pursue you, and you found that the right formation of body parts can make that happen very quickly with some people. Thankfully, the green group takes the bait. The one who opened the door has a sour look on his face and immediately thrusts his fist out in an attempt to grab you. Before he can make contact, you begin to flee back the way you came. It's a tight chase. The creature is much more suited to the water than you are, after all. But thankfully, you don't have far to go before you manage to make your way back to land. When you first emerge from the water, you don't immediately see the recluse. Thankfully, after the creature comes up behind you and begins to give chase, they spring out from behind a tree and plant their hatchet directly in the back of the creature's head. The other two aren't far behind, however. You hide behind the recluse, doing your best to support them as they fight the remaining shelled creatures. It doesn't take them long to dispense of one. However, the other keeps a distance. She looks from the corpses of her companions to the recluse, then to you. There's a certain look in her eyes. Oh gosh, okay. There's a certain look in her eyes. Truthfully, it haunts you a little. It's as if she's telling you you'll rue this day. When she turns to run, the recluse briefly pursues her, but finds themselves tripped up in some bramble. Damn it, they curse, but that should take care of the worst of it at least. They don't like hunting alone. Oh good, I gotta bounce for the night. Thanks for stopping by, Zalzaruzhna. Took a nice long break, so I think we're gonna be playing with the mushrooms quite a bit for the foreseeable future. I hope you have a good night. I don't like hunting. Yeah, because there's only one Kappa left, so probably she's not coming back. Well, at least the recluse didn't drown. That's the important part. The two of you leave each other with a particularly soggy hug as you part ways for the day. Yeah, our dampness is probably unfortunately high. Like as soon as we... Okay, what a thrill. Sometimes hanging out with your parent can be fun. What? Oh, that thief is about to make us regret kicking him out. Shell shock survivor. You participated in an extermination attempt that left a living witness. Okay. So the Kappa is traumatized by us. Yeah. The rotten thief. He's gonna leave us hanging. Continue to wiggle your way loose. I've never gotten this before. I know I didn't read it. And I'm sorry, but I'm just taken aback. So we got caught in a rope loop trap. We're hanging upside down. And it turned out that it was set by the thief that we did not help the other day because I've never decided to do that before. And we'll never do it again. So this is the consequence of that. I think I just saved, but now I can't remember. Let's try waiting and see what happens. You figure these words aren't totally abandoned. Maybe if you stay patient, someone will come along eventually. Pass. Okay, so after a while of occasionally yelling in an attempt to attract attention, you hear the sound of footsteps. When they come into view, you feel an intense sense of release, the recluse. So basically, we had to be nice to one of them. Because if not, we're gonna be left here forever. A little tied up, are you? The recluse quips as they approach, quickly identifying and disengaging the trap you are caught in. You fall to the ground with a gentle landing, and the recluse helps you back to your feet. When the recluse asks how you ended up in the situation, you explain your quarrel with the robber. At least now that thief has a new arch nemesis, your parent. Oh my god, what if the thief is the guy? So, one of the... Remember when Potato Girl Anahi was still just a plant? And I was like, sometimes you get this event where you find out stuff about the recluse's past. One of them is that his former associate, or their former associate, shows up. I keep forgetting the recluse is non-binary for some reason. So one of their former business associates shows up, and like it's like we're gonna go into business again together, and you can choose to kill him. And your daughter watches you kill him. Um, it's been an hour. We're about to take a bio break. But I wonder if that thief is the guy. I don't think so, because that thief seems like a nice man. I know you didn't get to see that because we didn't choose to help him. But he is, generally speaking, a really nice man. So I'm thinking that he can't be the same guy. Anyway, you're gonna give me just a moment. I'm gonna run to the necessary, and then we're gonna continue this run. Be right back. us return. Okay. Ends the sound. Alright, while wandering the woods near your home, you suddenly hear something rustling in the foliage ahead of you. I think this is the pig thing. Again? Here's my problem is that, okay, I'm sure yeah, I did say it right before I went to the bio break, but that's fine. It's this? Yeah. In which your daughter has an unusual familial situation. That's the thief ending. Daughter finds a job, goes to sleep, left the human world for something more suitable. Daughter has no choice. Ashes to ashes, goes for a swim, forced to seek distant lands. Forced to seek distant lands, I wonder if that's if you go with the robot statue. There's an obstacle while climbing. Meets a knight, victim to a certain magic. Sees the boundary between two worlds. No choice but to be patient. Finds a hole that was made for her. Gainful employment in the dental sector. I do need to try to finish the tooth fairy thing at some point. Rich daughter helps a puppy. Becomes well acquainted with a violet coral girl. Well acquainted with a hog. So if it's the pig, well acquainted with a hog, pulls some heartstrings. Encounter of the third kind with the aliens. And it's an ending, so I feel like that means the hog kills you. Slain by a survivor, slays a survivor. The recluse has a big night out. That's going to the gala and bringing the recluse with you. So we could do that at some point. Okay. Where you interact, a large boar bursts from the brush and locks eyes with you. You sense an intense flaming orb of determination emanate off this wild hog. Preoccupy him with a sample. It's just a pig. You're sure you came prepared for this? Yeah, let's try to use the fairies and see if we can get him to kill us. Yes. You remember the knife tied to your head was for a small thank you to your caretaker who taught you to never leave home without one. That's not really what I was aiming for. Without hesitation, the pig begins barreling in your direction. As it is about to gore you, you veer to the side and brandish your knife. You just barely manage to clip the boar's side, your efforts resulting only a narrow victory. It turns to attempt a second attack and is met with another cut from your knife, this time taking off part of its ear. Finally, it seems to no longer find the fight worth it and it flees back into the woods. I guess the achievement says hog. And this says boar. You wonder what the boar will do now and find yourself thinking that of that clipped ear. Perhaps the two of you shall meet again. Okay, this is it. That's how we do it. We want that. I have a vague idea of what some of the endings mean, so I just gotta try to make them go. For now, you head home victorious. Our mycelium is so fucking high. What? Moby swine is not. Okay. We just saved, so give me a second. Oops, that's the wrong button. Okay. Hold just reload. Man! Okay, well, let's try. Or is the exception often leads to additional errors. Okay, we're just gonna try to continue, and we'll do saves as necessary to try and preserve for patching, I guess. While taking a nice midday walk to the lake to gather some sand, you happen to catch a glowing out of the corner of your eye. You stop trying to find the source. It's strange, ethereal, and seems to be floating at random. Some part of you feels like you know what it is, a fairy. The fairies are a rare creature, worth far more than their weight in gold, but you have a little interest in gold, don't you? Your time in the human world has taught you that much, at least. Affairs that involve niceties and human rules are always so, well, boring. You decide to follow the fairy for another reason, curiosity. You wanted to know more. Some part of you felt a connection with fairies, though you weren't entirely sure why. You kept quiet and low, following the fairy for a while, maybe more than a while. After a long while, something occurred to you. It wasn't getting any darker. Looking around, you realized you were no longer familiar with your surroundings. Trees took on many different colors here, and there were plants you had never seen. Strange critters, too many or too few limbs, and often with wings, passed you idly by with no sense of fear. You feel as though perhaps you've finally found your way home. Ugh. Abrupt ending. We didn't get to finish the pig thing. But we do know how to trigger it now, which is to nick its ear. We already had this ending. Fairy Realm 1, right? That's the one that we had. Yeah. Alright, well, that was a weird little run. An hour and a half. I'm very concerned about the game not running. Um, I will see if I can rustle up some conversation with the devs to see if there's something that can be done to fix that. The thing is, so I originally downloaded this game when I wasn't using the itch bookshelf app, and that makes it way easier to keep track of updates. And I'm pretty sure that if I were to I would lose all of my shit and I would have to redo it, which is frustrating. Um, so yeah, we're just gonna keep doing it like this for now, unless I absolutely find that I have to switch it and start because of the nature of the game, it won't really matter if we have to start all over, and I can do a little bit in the off time, but what if I get an event that we've never gotten before when you're not, it's not a stream. So I stop messing with stuff that's just sitting on the table in front of me. I'm fidgety. Okay. I was up all night last night with a terrible earache, and I worked all day today, so I'm quite tired. I adore you dearly. Feel free to follow me here on Twitch or on Twitter or on YouTube, all at the same Kami Spriggan, COMMIESPRIGGAN. And if you like the stream, please consider tipping for the stream. I know I've been saying for quite a while now that I didn't have anything specific in mind, but now I do, trying to raise money to get our car inspected. Yes, it's a dreary, day-to-day fundraising effort, but it is necessary because we're poor. So if you would like to contribute to that, or just to tip me because you like my voice, or whatever, it's KO code-fi/Spriggan, SPRIGGAN. No commie, just my name. I don't believe that I have any like subscription things set up. It's literally just for one-time tips, and I use Ko-fi because it allows you to do it anonymously if you want to do that. Yeah, that's everything. Have a good week. Do something for someone else without expecting anything in return, and expect people who tell you they love you to act like it. Free Palestine. Love y'all.